I think workplaces are underestimated settings for social change. And this is a very interesting question for anyone studying organizations like me. When we think of organizational culture, we think of something exclusively internal, like how teams work, whether my manager is supportive, whether I can feel I can speak up. But organizations are inserted into societies. And the social rules that govern how we behave and how people behave in society, they follow us every morning through the doors of our organization. And menstrual stigma is a very good example of this. Like this is a norm that doesn't come from the firm, but it affects how women uh, behave. I discussed previously how it affects whether you take up a product, whether maybe you feel if you can ask for a break. And I think a very interesting question is, can organizations change this? And it's not obvious because these norms don't come from the organization, they come from society. And they are very deeply rooted in beliefs that we have and in our culture. And it can feel, if an organization tries to change this, a bit intrusive, or it can make the workers feel uncomfortable. So I think the question is not obvious. On the other hand, organizations are uniquely positioned, I think, at least operationally, to change norms, because apart from maybe schools and the media, is one of the few places where you can reach thousands of people at once, that they are always that they're in one space where you have structures such as maybe the communication structures of the firm. So they're very uniquely positioned. And to change norms, you also need repeated interaction, right? Like a one-off is sometimes difficult to change your whole behavior system and your culture, but you go to work every day. And I think there's other important dimension that might be more symbolic, which is we look up, right, to the leaders in an organization on how they behave, and a lot of them as models of what we want in our career, what we think is appropriate, what are these top executives doing. So if they send a signal that unstigmatized topics such as menstruation is something normal, there's something to not be ashamed of, there's a fair concern of worker health, that might help change norms.